Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. As you can see, if you've watched the review on the Aldi's beer dispenser, you'll now see we've got a little head-to-head going on here. It's really fun. It's not out to sort of put anything down or whatever. It's just about doing this little fun head-to-head video to really see whether like the Fizzics machine really is like worth like over £100 more than this. Quite frankly, for the quality and for the fact that you can do so much more with the Fizzics machine, so you can put so many more. This is just for cans, I mean, I'm going to go into it again, but this is just for cans up to 500 millilitres, whereas the Fizzics is cans and bottles. It'll do the big bottles, you know, like I don't really have it because I don't really like Punk IPA, but the big Punk IPA bottles, all them sort of big ones, no problem at all. So you are very limited to what you can do with this. But after reviewing this last night and really getting sort of into it, and you have to learn the machines, you know, you have to learn because the foam comes at different levels and things. So tonight, with me doing this experiment between the two, there could be an error on my part that makes one seem different to the other. But I was just really impressed by this. And I think if anybody, if any dad out there is getting this for Father's Day, then I think you're going to be really excited and really good. It's so much fun. Now, the difference between the two, they both operate on batteries, but the Fizzics now comes with a power cord, so you can operate it with a USB power cord. So, you know, if you're running it all night long, you've got no worries about the batteries going. So what I've got two identical beers. They're both the same temperature, both come out the same fridge. They're from the Elusive Brewery, and it is called Two Trick Pony. The Elusive Brewery have said that they don't want to be seen to be like a one-trick pony by brewing just West Coast IPA. You'll have to excuse me, I've not long finished it. It's 9:25 of an evening and I'm quite tired of that, but I just wanted to do this. It's coming in at 6%. Now, this is unfined and vegan friendly. So what I'm going to do, because these are sucking from the bottom, I'm just going to sort of gently, very gently, and if you've ever sort of like read on some of the quite high end and top end sort of like beers, you know, especially some of the imperial stouts, they will tell you to gently roll the can. So we want to try and get a little bit of the mixture. Now, I like to pour these unfiltered and unfined sort of beers. Well, this says unfined. I'm not sure, but it will be probably unfiltered as well. But unfined. I like to pour these in different ways to experiment. So I like to pour them gently. I like to pour them quite hard. I like to pour them so gently that all the stuff stays at the bottom, and then pour it into the top once it's settled to get that real lava lamp effect. So what we've got two cans that we've rolled around now. So we've got two identical glasses. These are my tap and barrel jugs. Now, the only reason that I've used these is because I couldn't really find, other than the beacon glasses that I've got from Everard's, but unfortunately I did the salt test on them because I didn't think they were beer clean and the salt wouldn't stick. So I think these are, I've done the salt test, swilled these out. So what I'm going to do, literally, I'm going to take the lids off. So if you watch the review of this, it'll show you how to use all that. I'm going to crack this can open and I'm going to put it in the machine. So excited. Now, what I noticed about this, so these are two 6% beers I'm going to take for the team here at this time of night. It's really tough this is. It really is. Now, you know, I'm not going to deny the fact that you get what you pay for. And if you want something quality, you have to pay for it. It's like the beer that I'm cracking open and putting in both these machines. They do not come cheap, but quality doesn't come cheap. But the thing is, you could race on a racetrack with a Rolls Royce or a battered old, I don't know, Mini. But it's not going to say that the Rolls Royce looking fancy and looking shiny and sharp is going to win the Mini. It all depends what's under the bonnet, doesn't it? Right, so I'm a little bit nervous about this because the Fizzics machine does tend to give a little delayed pour with the foam. This is slightly different. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pour both the beers and I'm going to sort of like titivate with it. But what you have to remember is both these machines, when you do the foam, when you do the surge, so to speak, the sonic surge, it's almost like a delayed thing. So just be careful when you do that because you can over foam it, and I'm probably going to do it. A good tip with this is to get your glasses as completely and upright as you can to start off with. Now you can experiment. You can experiment with these machines. You can put foam in first. You can put foam in afterwards. You can put it in midway. You can do it. But I'm going to pour both of these in exactly the same way. I'm going to get a pour going on. Then I'm going to get some foam in. And then I'm going to max it out until it spits. And then that'll be the can as empty as this machine can get it. I'm going to do exactly the same with the Fizzics machine. We'll take the cans out, we'll see what's left inside them and all that sort of stuff. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, so it's all like, I'm a little bit excited. I like doing things like this. And especially Janie's away on holiday, lucky bugger. She's in Cyprus with a mate and I'm home alone working and doing silly things like this. So yeah, so here we go. So get the glass up because basically, there was a bit of salt residue on the edge of this. So basically, if you pour it like that as well, you'll just by the pure fact that the beer's going in is going to aggravate the beer anyway. So I don't really want to do that. So experiment with these. You can have a lot of fun with them. Here we go. Here we go. So pouring nice and gently into the glass. So as you can see, no real breakout or anything. No real, if I carried on doing it like that, we would be flat. So I'm just going to like gauge this a little bit. Now, the beer dispenser from Aldi, now I'm going to go backwards to create some foam. Here we go, look at this. So I think that might be just enough. We'll keep it going, we'll see. Oh, I think we could probably just do a little bit more. So, what was I just about to say? I can't remember what I was about to say now. Oh, you see what I mean? Might have just over foamed it. Right, so I think I might be able to pour this out until it maxes out now. So let's see how much spit we get from this. That's looking good, folks. It's like the never-ending can. Oh my word. Come on, stop. Oh, there we go. So look. Very little. There's nothing that's spat over the top. There's nothing that's made that go over the top. And I think you'll agree that is pretty good, right? So that's a 400, I think it's a 440ml can. We'll check it out when it comes out. That has created a nice, look at that, a nice thick foam. Right, I'm going to have a sip of this. Before it settles and does anything, I want to feel the mouthfeel on this. Cheers. Oh, that's a beautiful beer. Oh, they are definitely not a one-trick pony. Oh, that's a beautiful beer. Let's see how much is left in the can. Now, I'm not too worried about leaving that can in there with the top off because this is natural carbonation that's in here. So let's see how much is left in this can now. Whoa. So that has drank it pretty dry. So yeah, Two Trick Pony, absolutely beautiful. 6% New England IPA. That is lovely, let me tell you. That is definitely, I've had this beer, I bought several of them, I've had this beer, and that has definitely, yeah, gave it a little bit of a texture. Right, let's get on with the Fizzics. Now this pours a lot faster, so this might just by default break out a bit more. So let's get it up in the air. I'm going to try and be really fair with this. You're sorry you can't see me, but that's probably a good thing. Here we go. So we're a lot faster. Instantly, look at that. I'm a fool, I'm a fool! I'm a complete idiot because I've just, because it's opposite, I've just foamed it up. Oh well, not to worry, let's do it this way. Right. Ah, I feel like I've let it down. I've definitely, and we broke out. I've definitely completely not to let that down. I've let the machine down there. So I better have another one in here. Right, folks, I've let the Fizzics machine down just then. So what I'm going to do, you ain't going to quite believe this. I'll be back in a minute and I'm going to drink these and then I'm going to do the same again, but with these two. Yeah, I think I'm going to sleep well tonight. So yeah, now here's a little tip, right? When you've got the machines opposite, just remember that was a real schoolboy error doing that bad. Anyway, just before I go, look at that. That settled down nice. It did spit it out, so there's nothing left. Let's just see how much is in the can, and then I'll be back in a second. Seriously, I'll rinse these out. We'll go again. So now with the Fizzics machine, look. There is a bit more in the can, but it's negotiable. You know, it's whatever. So anyway, but look, to be honest with you, even though I made the mistake on that, it still settled down quite nicely. Crikey, the glass looks like it's got a couple of bubbles in. But anyway, let's see. Pretty much the same. Right, I'm going to be back in a second. So, here we go then. I'm back. Now, thankfully, I've not necked them beers. I'm going to be taking it instead. I've poured it into another glass. It's still tasting really quite smooth and, yeah, quite creamy, actually. I mean, down to the beer. Right, I'm not going to mess up on this. So, the only real beer that I've got two of, which I fancy now, because the other twos I've got is stouts at like 8.4%, 10%. I've also got the Hackney Church Agadoo beer at 8.4%. So I've got two of these from Thornbridge, 7.4%, right? So I ain't going to mess up this time. So there you go. So both these machines have been rinsed out, okay? And we don't need to turn these around because I don't think these are unfiltered or unfined or anything. I don't think they are. I don't think they are from my memory. But anyway, because these are both probably sucking them dry anyway, we will keep them upright and we will see what the machines do. But yeah, and then I think I better settle myself in and sort of like get these down me rather quickly and get myself, well, not really quickly, but get myself up to bed before they actually kick in, set my alarm, and but I never use my alarm anyway. I'm always up before the blooming alarm, and I never actually get woken up by the alarm ever. Right, so here we are, we're back up and running. The glasses are rinsed, they've got a little bit of like water in them there. We're not going to mess up this time, Spenno, are we? No, we're not, Spenno. Good, don't mess up, Spenno. I won't, Spenno. I'll get it right this time. You're a dick, Spenno. I know. You waffle, I know. Right, here we go again. Forward. Remember, this way. When I come to do this, will you just remind me to do it this way? So, yeah. So, the beer dispenser from Aldi pours quite slowly, right? That is a noticeable difference, that it does pour very, very, very slowly. So by the time you have poured yourself a beer, your arm's aching a bit, you know what I mean? So, you know, that is noticeably different. But, you know, good things come to those who wait. So, you know, let's not worry about that. Let me just check that my mic is still connected. Yes, there's a blue. So let's have a bit of foam. I just love how it does it. Look at that. It looks really good as well, doesn't it? Look at that. You can just play. I'll tell you what these machines do a brilliant job of. You know the Budvar, the check pour. I put a mastic nozzle, silicone nozzle, on the end of that and put it into the beer. And I think if you play with it quite a bit, you can get a really good check pour. Now, I've had this Thornbridge beer several times. Is it going to max out without going over? Oh, look at that. Look at that. It's almost like That's absolutely perfect. That I've made a few little bubbles on the top. I've made that can fill that pint glass by giving it that foamy head. Look at that. Do you know what? You know what? I've changed over the years. You know, if you went into a pub, well, if I went into a pub now and got a head like that, I would be like, top it up. But you know what? I really like a head on my beer now. I really like a head on my beer because since learning the craft beer and what the actual foam does, it's there to protect the beer from the oxygen. It's there to stop the oxygen getting in the beer. And if your glasses are beer clean, then this head should stay all the way down the glass. You should never lose your beer. You should never go flat. So if this goes flat tonight, boom, I'm not done my job. But it shouldn't go flat. Anyway, cheers everybody. Look at the creaminess on that. Look at it. It's great. Oh, that's nice. You can't fault that, can you? That's nose and everything in it. That's good. That's done a good job. No doubt about it. It's good. I gave it a 10 out. I gave it a 10 out of 10 on my review last night, and the reason I did is because it's $24.99. It's a 10 out of 10. It's an absolute 10 out of 10. Right, Spenno, think. Oh, what's that? Yes. Oh, thank you. Just want to thank that person there. Thanks for that, for reminding me to do it forward. I appreciate that. Cheers. So anyway, let's do this. Now this is going to pour faster, so it might just automatically aggravate the beer. So here we go. Forward. Yay! Forward. Way, well done, Spenno. Yeah, you're not so much of a dick. Anyway, look, so you can see a little bit of breakout in there. So let's give it a bit. Oh, I just love how that makes that. Psh. Now this does do a lot of foam quickly. Look at that. Oh my God. Now the thing with the Fizzics machine, it does create some serious foam, right? And now if this ends up being too foamy, it's my fault because you do get a good foam from this. So I might just let that just settle. I mean, look at that. That's really creamy because I think that's going to go over the top. But so I think the Fizzics machine does create. Oh, that's good. So that hasn't splattered out as I've always thought it did before. Now, the Fizzics machine is brilliant at the foaming. So I think it is actually better than that at doing the foaming. But because that is not quite as good as that, it's a little bit easier to control, if you get my meaning. So, but the actual result is a similar foamy head. But yeah, so this is brilliant. So it's one of those, as you pull it back, you think nothing's really happening to start off with, but then also woof, it's almost like it's creating it in there and then it's giving it out to you. Whereas this is more creating it as it comes out. That's doing a bit. I think that's doing a bit more magic, if I'm to be honest with you. And it does look the absolute part. But it's all well and good if you're thinking I want a beer dispenser right now, and these are both available. Watching this, what are you going to spend your money on? Like, are you going to spend £129 on this? I looked it up on the website last night. It was £129. Or you're going to spend $24.99 on this and then spend the rest of the £100 getting more beer to put in this. I don't know. I really don't know. I think for me, and it's, like I say, it's all down to budget, but I bought this because this weren't available. I think if I'd have bought this first, I probably wouldn't have bothered with that, if I'm honest, if I'm being honest. But I do love the Fizzics machine. And I like the Fizzics machine because you can put it on the side and you can crack any bottle open, put it in any can, put it in. So it's very versatile. It does a lot. Right, anyway, let's get into this. Cheers, everybody. Just heard a bang outside. Probably the fox jumping over the fence, maybe. Yeah, I mean, yeah, let's give a good foam, innit? Yeah. So there's enough foam there to cover your nose. Oh, reminds me of that ice cream I had when we were away and I dobbed it in my face just for a laugh. Anyway, I'll just drink this one as well. Cheers. Oh, that is an absolute quality beer from Elusive, and so are these. These are quality. Oh, cheers. So, my friend takes the mick out of me for going so all the while. Everybody goes so, don't they? Right. So, in the beer dispenser, what we got left in the can? Oh, dribble. In the Fizzics machine, what we got left in the can? A bit more of a dribble, but you know, we ain't gonna argue about that, are we? So, for me, great beers, absolutely great. Highly recommend that. You can get them in Asda every day of the week. It's a core beer in Asda now from Thornbridge, brilliant. The Elusive Brewery, they're celebrating 8 years of them, fantastic. I love the can art and everything. And I tell you what, these labels are so good. They're like almost like tin foil. They stick up on the cabin, brilliant. So anyway, that's 2 6%ers and that's 2 7.4%ers. That should be nanite beer. So beer's in the glass, look. Let's just drink this one a little bit more. They're holding on to the glass. Obviously the beer's looking the same because it's the same beer. You know, different levels of sort of like condensation on the glass. Oh, you can now look. You can actually see in there. You can actually see some lava. Look, see the lava lamp effect. Right, so that's come from. Oh God, I've got a shoulder injury. It's really hard to hold this up. I do apologise. That's coming from the Aldi one. The Fizzics has mixed it up a little bit more. But, you know, we can argue that I handled the cans a little bit different or whatever. But I do like the fact that that one is looking like it's... Because, you know, here's the thing. Because it's sucked up every single part of that beer out of that, every bit, it's got all the dregs, isn't it? And it's made that, like, lava lamp effect. Look, I wasn't sure whether this beer had that. Look at it. I love that. I wasn't sure whether this beer was like that. It must be unfiltered then. Anyway, that's for another time. But yes, brilliant. They're both brilliant. Oh, that's a really lovely beer. For an Asda off the shelf beer, that's banging. So is this. Cheers. Oh, do you know what? I used to do two-handed drinking. Now I'm having to do three-handed drinking. I'm going to have to start to like get my toes to try and work and grab hold of one of them. But anyway, right, so here we have it. Right, head to head. We're talking pretty equal. I would say the Fizzics does a better job of the foaming. Does a better job of the pour. You don't have to wait so long for your beer. It looks better. It's going to last longer, I think, but who knows? This has got a 3-year guarantee. I know that the customer service from Fizzics is bang on because after 2 years, one breaking down, they replaced it. I'm not saying that that's going to happen to everybody if it breaks down after 2 years. You've got to look after the machines. You've got to clean them out. Now with the Fizzics, you can put a pint. I use this plastic pint glass from an old gig. I just fill it up, put it in, swill it out. You've got to swill them out. It's absolutely imperative you do that. You leave beer in here and the next time you go to use it, well, it's like the hand pull. You've got to run line cleaners through, even through these home beer engines, you know. So you've got to, if you just run fresh water through these as soon as you've done, and then what I tend to do is, if I've left it for a couple of weeks and not used it, because you do have, it is a novelty thing, it does wear off, and then you bring it back out again. Excuse me. I get some like really, I boil some water and then I just let it go off the boil for 10 minutes and then I run that through because it's sort of like the boiled water has got rid of all the sort of like the stuff that will leave deposits maybe. It's a bit like when you drink boiled water for yourself. You can tell these beers are kicking in, can't you? Anyway, this is only a 13-minute video. I might as well just carry on waffling for another 20 minutes. Otherwise, people will be tuning in for a hashtag Spano waffle and thinking, God, this is over in 13 minutes, you know what I mean? But anyway, So yeah, so Aldi, I would say keep this going, please keep this going. Let plenty of people, because when I went in there the other day, there was only one left. There's about 6 or 7 of them when I went in with Marshall. But there was only one left when I went in the next day to get the Guinness. But yeah, please, 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 please keep this going, because I just think not everybody can afford this, but everybody wants something like this. You know, we all want, you know, everybody needs, well, not everybody, but we all need cars. But some people's budgets are very differently. It's like with beer. You know, we all love beer, but everybody has a budget, don't they? And everybody has what they do. You know, my kids are gone. Well, one kid, you know, and Jane. We've not got no dependents. I work long hours. I put a lot of overtime in. So does Janie. You know what I mean? You don't just buy expensive beer by not having to put the effort into. You know, I work 13, 14 hours overtime every week in order to be able to have a few luxury beers and things. If I just worked a normal, what is deemed to be full-time hours, I wouldn't be able to afford the beers. I really wouldn't. So I understand, you know, there's beer drinkers out there that have got to put clothes on kids and they've got to feed the kids and they've got to, you know what I mean? They're just starting out, so they can't probably afford £130 on a machine like this. So £24.99 is fantastic. You know, it's absolutely brilliant. When I was younger and I had Emma, and you know, and you know, we were growing up, and you got a big mortgage and everything. I couldn't have had that. But you know, I'm an old bugger now, and you know, and we both work full time, even, you know, our age and that. And so yeah, so I can afford that, if you know what I mean. So, but I just think Aldi, well done. You know, you've copied a machine quite well. You don't do that well with the beers, I must admit. I mean, I have had the Elvis juice, and that is not the best anyway. But in fact, here, look, I can even pull one out. It lives under the shelf here, look. I can even pull an Elvis juice out, and that ain't for me. That is for, there's a few friends that I know like an Elvis juice. I always have one there. It's on the shelf. It doesn't live in the fridge, but it's cool in here anyway with it and that. But that Memphis Boulevard, which is a copper, nah. I mean, it's bad enough that that's a grapefruit infused beer. But yeah, the Memphis Boulevard Audi copper, you know. But yeah, this is a copy of that. It's not too bad. Anyway, I am waffling now, and I really, really am waffling. So I've got these 3 beers to drink. I'm going to go and get my laptop now. What time is it? It's only 10 o'clock. I'm going to try and edit this video and get it online. And then once it's online, well, you guys will be seeing it once it's online. But then I'll share it with the beer loving community and hope that it's been informative for you. But just remember, when you first get this, you're going to pour a big old foamy, because the novelty of getting the foam, it works like a Guinness pump, doesn't it? Guinness, forward to do the pour, and then backwards to do the second pour. Whereas the first pour with Guinness is the one that does the nitro surging, and the second one is the one without the surge. Whereas these are different. When you pour these towards the front, they do the non-surging sonic normal pour. When you push it back, you get the nitro surge, so or the sonic surge, if you like. So just remember that it works opposite to, say, a Guinness pump. So if you're going to run a Guinness through this, you want to be pushing it back all the way, because then that will do the sonic surge and that will aggravate it. However, you've got to use the 440 cans in here. You can't put the big Guinness nitro surge cans in here, but you can in here. So if you don't want to buy the Guinness cap, you know, this is about 25 quid, and you think you can get the nitro surge cans in here, you're not going to get them, because this only takes up to 500 milliliter, but you will get it in here. Anyway, right, this has been a Spenno Waffle video. I hope you've enjoyed it. If there's any questions that you want to ask me, please feel free to put in the comments. If you want to slag me off for getting it wrong, please feel free to put it in the comments. Just be kind. You know, I'm up for a laugh. If you want to say, I can't believe you car crashed that poor, you blimming, bumbling fool, then, you know, that's absolutely fine. I'll laugh it off with you. But just don't be horrible to me. You know what I mean? Just don't be nasty. You know, be nice and kind. You know, we're all out here for fun. But if you are horrible to me, I'll just laugh it off and come back with some silly comment that you'll probably laugh at anyway. But anyway, but you know what I'm going to do now? I'm going to edit this video. I'm going to try and get it out. But I'm also going to start watching the other reviews on this because I've not watched any yet. And I'm going to just start typing in on YouTube beer dispenser reviews because it's going to be absolutely manic full. And I'm just going to watch people because I said yesterday, I've done a professional review of it yesterday, but only for the fact that it was professional compared to the Instagram live I did when I completely car crashed it. But you know, you learn the machine. Anyway, right, look, I've been Spenno. I'm leaning over here because the camera's far away. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this. I'm a little slightly oiled, so a little bit smiling, a little bit jolly. I really enjoy doing these videos. It's a lot of fun, and I hope you've enjoyed it as well. Please like and please put some comments out. I like the comments. I like to check my emails and see the comments, and I really appreciate it. Anyway, live, laugh, love, and stay safe, everybody. And let's just pray for some more sunshine because the rain is still coming. Like, we've got to do some sort of sunshine dance together. Right, take care, everybody. Bye.